All right. Welcome to the show, gang. We got a hot one for you. Kanye West and Candace Owens caught at the fashion show wearing a White Lives Matter t-shirt. And this has sparked controversy all over the world, just driving everyone insane, losing their minds and going crazy. Everybody's like, why are they wearing the White Lives t-shirt? No! But I love it. I love this kind of controversy because it creates conversation, right? Sometimes people think that controversy is not good, but sometimes in a world that's asleep, you need controversy to wake people up. Okay? So, well, I know. Okay, enough with the booing. I got you. Okay, no need to boo. The culture war started when President Trump became president in 2016. I remember because I was caught up in that world of being a lefty slash liberal slash Democrat. I come from that life. That was me. But I was always a thinker. I was always my own person. I always looked at the way things were and asked questions and inquire and investigated. This is not to say that I somehow love Trump or think that he's the savior of the world or something, because I don't think that at all. I am just a believer that if you live in this great nation of these United States under the Constitution that has been afforded to us by our forefathers and the creators of this country, we should have the freedom to choose, whatever decisions we deem necessary for ourselves, our families, whatever the case, and that's not something that we should be persecuted for. When I saw that there was political persecution and religious persecution taking place on American soil, it woke me up. It woke me up to the fact that something is happening in America. There's a shift going on. It was like Jim Crow was coming back in very sneakily, sneaking its way back in, disguised as liberalism. And I usually take more of the libertarian approach, actually, by the way, if I'm being honest. And that was something that woke me up. So anyway, fast forward to today. I've lost a lot of friendships. Families have cut me off, and I've had a lot of negative effects for having my own thoughts and thinking my own things, which surprised me because I always thought that America, the principles that made America what it was the freedom to do that. And so I began this campaign to sort of fight for the freedoms of everyone, even for the people I disagree with. I also started noticing that the social media platforms started banning and shunning people. But have no fear, we have places like Rumble and Getter and Truth Social where people have been flocking to who have been experiencing this type of censorship. So they haven't killed the conversation, they just sent it to other platforms. Anyway, I'm gonna start this interview with Kanye West with you guys. I hope you enjoy it, and let's take a look at what he has to say. And let's, you're listening it with me the first time, and let's kind of just dive in and see how it goes, right? It's an adventure. Let's just see where it goes from here.
What was strikingly missing from the coverage, however, was any explanation for why West did this. What was the t-shirt about? No one seemed to think to ask him, much less to listen to what he had to say. Instead, the enemies of his ideas dismissed West, as they have for years, as mentally ill. Too crazy to take seriously. Look away, ignore him. He's a mental patient. There's nothing to see here. But is West crazy? You can judge for yourself as you watch what we're about to show you. He has his own ideas, we can say that. Creative people tend to. That's why they're artists, not actuaries. His freeform social media posts give the impression of a man channeling his rawest emotions right onto Instagram. The effect can be jarring and is often used as ammunition against him in the battle for influence over the minds of America.
What's interesting about this is that's how I started my journey. How I got to this YouTube and my Instagram and doing the things I'm doing and why I got passionate about becoming a content creator was that I felt that I wasn't being allowed to express myself in the freest nation on earth. In the freest nation on earth, the United States of America, I was not being allowed to express myself at all. I was being censored, right? I was being censored by family, by friends, by the platforms I was on. I wasn't being allowed to talk, to debate, to argue, to have a conversation. I was shouted down. I was treated as if I was crazy. I was called Nazi, white supremacist, you name it. The book has been thrown at me. And then I read this other book by Leon Skousen called The Naked Communists. And that's when I started putting pieces of the puzzle together. Oh my God, the United States is under attack. We're being attacked from within through a culture war, through shouting people down who's trying to express themselves, trying to make it almost taboo to have conversation, discourse, and debate, when the free speech in the Constitution is there to guarantee that we are all able to have the difficult conversations. That's what it's there for. We'll make another episode about the Constitution, but let me go ahead and get right into this interview. Let's listen to Kanye West. Let's hear what he has to say. This is the problem with America right now. No one, and not just America, the world, no one wants to try to put themselves in the other person's shoes or try to understand the context by which something is being said, or trying to figure out like, hey, is this making sense? Where are they coming from? What's their angle? None of that. It's just straight up like you're wrong and that's it, and then they shun you, right? That's very old-timey thinking. It's very primitive, but it comes from somewhere, and there's a whole history behind it. We'll get into that. Let's continue.
America's young people, and that battle is intense. But crazy? That was not our conclusion. In fact, we've rarely heard a man speak so honestly and so movingly about what he believes. But
I'll
again,
be the judge of that.
You can judge for yourself.
Yeah.
Here it is. So you just came from Paris Fashion Week. You just landed, and you have a lanyard still on from it, and there's a photograph on it. What is that?
It's a photograph of a baby's ultrasound.
Why is that? And that you designed that?
Yes.
Why? What does that mean?
It just represents life. I'm pro-life.
Boy, so you wear it on a badge. What kind of response do you get?
Which is your right.
Good, amen.
Everyone has that right.
I don't care about people's responses. I care about the fact that there's more black babies being aborted than born in New York City at this point.
That's the most realest shit someone can say. That's what I tell people all the time. And people don't like to hear that. People love to hide behind this cloud of virtue signaling and pretending that they care about the world. No, you don't. Who are you kidding? You don't care about the world. Do you care about the slave camps in China that make your iPhones? Do you care about the Uyghur Muslims that are being held against their will in China? Do you care about anything that's happening around the world, in Sudan, in where Gaddafi was killed and slavery came back to this day, right? Do you care about the poverty around the rest of the world, the refugees that are being created worldwide? Do you really care? Or you only care what's convenient and what gets you likes and hashtags and makes you feel like you're a part of some tribal love that is fake. It's not rooted or grounded in anything solid. You know, more guns to Ukraine, more money to Ukraine. Meanwhile, we can't take care of homeless here in America. Do you really care? I always call bullshit when I meet people and I hear them talking about this. You know, oh, we care, we care, we care. What do you really care about? I find it extremely hard to believe that you care. And all the while people like me try to express their thoughts or just speak with an open, honest, raw, authentic self, we get shouted down. We get treated like we're the bad guys. This is total lunacy, right? I can't believe that we have more sense coming from a reality TV star who was the president of this country, which, by the way, I don't agree with everything, but let that sink in for a second. Our country was ran by a reality TV star, and now the person making the most sense to me right now is a rapper, right? Who was married to like some Hollywood reality TV star. There's a lot of crazy shit, guys, in the world. It's just wacky to me what's going on right now, the times we live in. Wacky. Right? Let's go ahead and wrap up. I'm sorry I keep cutting it, but I'm getting a little emotional because everything Kanye West is talking about or going through or experiencing or revealing right now has been my journey. Like the exact same journey I've been on. All right? Sorry, I didn't mean to cut it, guys. Let's get back to the show.
That 50% of black death in America is abortion. So I really don't care about people's responses. I perform for an audience of one, and that's God.
Amen.
I'm starting to see why they want to make you be quiet.
Amen.
When did you start to feel this way? When did you start to realize this?
I really felt like, I think I started to really feel this need to express myself on another level when Trump was running for office, and I liked him.
Yes.
And every single person in Hollywood, from my ex-wife to my mother-in-law to my manager at that time to, you know, my so-called friends / handlers around me, told me, like, if I said that I liked Trump, that my career would be over, that my life would be over. They said stuff like people get killed for wearing a hat like that. They threatened my life. They put my life. They basically said that I would be killed for wearing the hat. I had someone call me last night and said anybody wearing a White Lives Matter shirt is going to be greenlit, and that means that they're going to beat them up if they wear it. And I'm like, you know, okay, green light me then.
That's how I felt. That's how I felt. That's the fire burning in me right now. I'm getting so emotional just listening to this because this man is speaking like what's been going on with me for the last 5 years, right? I didn't expect to be this way. I wasn't planning on being some content creator on YouTube or like speaking out, you know, boldly when I go places and having lengthy conversations with people every time I meet people, and expressing myself online and trying to create controversy just so that I could get someone to have a conversation with me and talk about the issue, right? You wouldn't believe the level of control in America, in the United States of America, land of the free, home of the brave, Constitution of these United States. I had family and friends trying to control me and tell me that I couldn't have a different political ideology or a different stance politically in an already binary system where there's not much choices, right? And I had my reasons for making my choices, and they were not respected. I respected yours. I respected your decision. I respected your ideology. I respected that you could go to the polls and vote for what you wanted, just like I could. I respected when you protested and you burned cities down and you did all kinds of stuff and you went crazy. I respected it. But when it was time for us to have a voice or to say something or to have a disagreement or have a difference in opinion, all of a sudden it was a problem. All of a sudden I wasn't American. All of a sudden I wasn't black or I wasn't representing my ethnic group. How dare you, people? How dare you? You all have lost your damn mind. You have. I mean, the fire, you guys lit a fire in us, people like us. I have to say like us because at first I thought it was a joke. My brother, so my family, they have a HBO account. And my brother put my profile picture on the HBO account as Kanye West. Now, initially, I took it as like they were trying to take a dig at me, which I think they still do. But the more I started listening to and observing what Kanye West was going through, I was like, man, I could relate. I was like, I actually could relate. I mean, we live in a country where if I put on a hat that says "Make America Great," you all go crazy. That's nonsense. But you could wear your blue hat. Nobody could. You're fine, right? This is the nonsense I don't understand about what's happening in America right now. I don't get it. How did we get here? How did we get to be the land of the free, home of the brave, to where now people are scared to talk about their political views? The reason we have free speech is so that we can have debate, discourse, argumentation, to hash out all the things that are difficult to talk about. All right? I don't get it. I really don't get it. I'm sorry I keep cutting this, but it's so...
You know, God builds warriors in a different way. I don't know if it's because of me being born in Atlanta and growing up on the south side of Chicago that, you know, he made me for such a time like this. It's like with David, you know, he tended to the sheep, but while he was out there, he had to fight all kinds of animals. So when it was time for Goliath to come, you thought because he was a sheep herder that he didn't have the skill set to take down Goliath. And the thing that I have is the position, I have my heart, but the number one thing is we have God on our side. And for the people, even if you don't believe in God, God believes in you.
God
so you
did.
made reference to the White Lives Matter T-shirt, which you brought out at Paris Fashion Week.
Yeah.
Why did you do that, and what did it mean?
You know,
Interesting.
I do certain things from a feeling. I just channel the energy. It just feels right. It's using a gut instinct, a connection with God, and just brilliance. You know, like as if you asked like Tanya Harding how she did the triple flip or the triple spin. She was in so much practice that when it was time for her to skate in a competitive format, it just happened. Like it happened outside of practice. It happened in the real format. And
that's deep.
That's what's happening. Is God is like preparing us for the real battles. And we are in a battle with the media. Like the majority of the media has a godless agenda, and the jokes in that work, and this whole like, oh, Ye's crazy and all these things, they don't work because the media has, you know, they've also watched travesties happen, just even specifically to me, and just watch it and act like it wasn't happening, and they stay quiet about it.
What have they?
I want to answer the white. Yeah. I feel like someone caught what I was saying, the comparison to Tanya Harding about the White Lives Matter. You know, my dad is a educated ex-Black Panther, and he put a text to me today. He said, "White Lives Matter, ha 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 ha," and I said, I thought the shirt was a funny shirt. I thought the idea of me wearing it was funny, and I said, "Dad, what do you think it was funny?" He said, just a Black man stating the obvious. Yeah. And you know, my dad doesn't listen to rap music, and he's like super educated. We opened up a water distribution center in the Dominican Republic together. He's like the original Steve Jobs, but he was getting blocked every which way with all of his ideas, and he didn't have an endless bank account, and he didn't have an Instagram. So all these ideas, he had to like take them back and compress them. Like my dad is the most brilliant person that I know, and we actually have a strained relationship because I was taken from him, because my mom was an actress, so she was a liberal, and my dad would see certain things and say, you know, we should do it this way, we should do it that way, and the people got around my mom and pulled her away, much like, you know, Kim is a Christian, but she has people who want her to go to Interview magazine and put her ass out while she's a 40-something-year-old multi-billionaire with 4 Black children. And this is how fashion wants to, how they want to present her.
Right.
So I know you give these questions, and I give you like these 3-part answers. Is this a?
I noticed that he loves his ex-wife. Despite what anybody says, you could see in that little clip when he was talking about how he feels, man. I'm a little bit choked up right now, but it's because I felt in that moment his genuine love for the woman who is the mother of his children, right? That he wanted a better life for his wife and his kids, and he wanted to change the image of his ex-wife and take his family in a different direction, in a godly direction. But he was surrounded by demons and hyenas in Hollywood that didn't allow it to happen. And they're probably the reason why he had to lose his marriage, because he had interference from the conglomerate of his mother-in-law and the sisters who were all involved in that life, right? He saw his wife as more than just her body. Shame on you, Kim, for walking away from him. He sounds like a good man with good values and good ethics, and that he wanted to build a family, a God family, for his up-and-coming children, and take his wife out of that life of just making money off of her body, right? Presenting her body out there to the world for the world can see. This man's been through a lot, and I know what he's going through because I felt it firsthand, and I'm still feeling it today. And you know what? If I'm feeling this way, there's got to be millions of fellas or men and women like me out there who feeling this way right now. Millions. And our voices are not getting heard because we're being censored, pushed off of platforms, being sent to Rumble, being sent to Truth Social, you getting banned off of TikTok. There's a lot of people who feel this way. But we're not the mainstream, so how would you know? You got mainstream media blocking any of this from getting out. I don't even know if this video is going to make it on YouTube. You may have to go to Rumble to see this video. I'm just calling it like it is, folks. I'm the one who's been living through it, right? So far, I haven't heard Kanye say anything that was outlandish or like whatever. I guess he said he was channeling the White Lives t-shirt because he was trying to like make a point, that he was trying to jar the society that, listen, why are we all breaking ourselves up into small subcategories of races? We got to come together. Now, he does get into later on about African Americans or black Americans not asking for anything. They just give away their vote for free. They shake their butts on TV. They rap and sing about dumb stuff and Xanax and pills and all this nonsense, and they don't ask for anything meaningful, like, you know, better education, Black Wall Street, you know, banking, you know, whatever it is that the black community needs to build themselves and propel themselves up the economic ladder. He makes a very good point later on, that's when Trump came along, he gave everyone the opportunity to vote for someone else so that we could put politicians against each other and leverage our vote. When Trump came, that was the first opportunity we had to leverage our vote. How many of you understand what leverage means? Leverage means that I don't guarantee my vote to you just because of the color of my skin. No, no, no. You have to earn it. You have to work for it. You have to give me something for it. You're not just going to play identity politics with me and virtue signal with me and pretend you're going to do something, but then your actions tell me something else, which is what he's saying, right? And I believe the White Lives Matter was really more of a point that, listen, you all are going about it the wrong way, right? How about all lives matter? Every human life matters, right? We're sending money to Ukraine, aren't we? Guns and weapons, ammunition going to Ukraine, right? We just printed a whole bunch of $billion more and we sent to Ukraine, right? Where's the love for America? Where's the love for our people? Where's the love for our nation? Where's the pride and the joy and the love for us? That's what we don't understand. That's what people like me and Kanye don't understand. Your logic is gone. It's just crazy free fall right now. And then the lunacy continues because you attack people like us who are genuine, authentic, who are trying to make a difference, who are trying to speak up and have a spine and stand up and say what's right and do what's right. And you make us out to be the bad guys.
Cool format for you?
Yeah, I love it.
Following? Okay, cool.
And I am following it.
All right.
So you said that your father said when he saw the shirt, White Lives Matter, it's great to see a black man stating the obvious. So by which I think you meant that's obviously true.
Yeah, that my favorite response, because I kept on thinking, like, you know, people, they're looking for an explanation, and people say, well, as an artist, you don't have to give an explanation, but as a leader, you do.
Yes, I think that's right.
Correct.
So the answer to why I wrote White Lives Matter on a shirt is because they do. It's the obvious thing.
Yeah.
Right.
Why do you think that's so, and I assume the implication is, of course, all lives matter because they're lives, because God created them.
Yeah.
Why do you think that that would be considered controversial?
Okay, I got an answer. I got an answer.
The same people that have stripped us of our identity and labeled us as a color have told us what it means to be black and the vernacular that we're supposed to have. My dad grew up as a military brat, and his family moved around, but they were based mostly in Delaware. And at the time, if they weren't the only black family, they were one of the few. And he would be discriminated against because he was black. So by the time he got into college, he would be discriminated against. He went to a black college, he would be discriminated against because they said he talked too white.
Yes.
And then he played the kick drum in the band. So when he would go to the club and the music was playing, where would he clap his hands? Where the kick drum is.
Yeah.
So it's the opposite of where everyone else was clapping their hands. And this is the most elegant and tasteful person that I know. And when my mom, when the school suggested, like, the herding systems, because what they do is take the black community and they separate us, and they separate the families, and the educated, they push this, need for higher education, and us as blacks, we discriminate against each other and say, well, I got my PhD and you don't have your PhD, so I'm better than you. And so my mom, she had a PhD, and she was influenced to move to the south side of Chicago and take this job at Chicago State University. And she told my dad, if you come for us, you'll never see him again. Because, the media ridiculed me for getting the house next door to Kim to see my children. And they even said that I was stalking her and her new boyfriend because I bought the house next door to see my children. And that's how I knew that my mom had said that to him. I said, Dad, they moved us to one of the most agreed upon to be one of the most dangerous places in the world. It's almost like they tried to kill me or something. I said, Dad, why'd you never come to get us? And that's when he told me that she was told that. There's so many things that are put in Kim's head. They bring influencers, like, no one ever knew where Corey Gamble came from. No one in the fashion world knows where Gabby came from. These people were practically made in a laboratory, in my opinion. And one of the things that they're really good at doing is being nice and being likable. And what they do is, for people that have some form of influence, whether it's an educated black woman like my mother.
He's given us, I know you're probably finding a hard time to follow him right now, but he's kind of revealing to you in a very roundabout way how the world actually works. There's something called handlers. The more you move up the ladder, the more certain people are going to just come out of nowhere and start being around you in your life. They're going to be there to sort of be like a guide for you, what to say, how to say it, what to do, what does the public think. This is the route you need to go. And the frustration that I can see in Kanye West's face right now is that he lost his family the same way that he lost his father due to liberalism, due to this leftist ideology that he witnessed growing up. It's the same with me. I witnessed a similar thing in my family. The leftist ideology infected his mother and created this division between the mother and the father, pulled her away, and now he's seeing it play out in his life between him and Kim. And now there's outside influences coming in and influences his wife. And they have a hold on his kids and his family, his ex-family. So now he has become his father. So he's making a parallel connection. So when he makes that shirt, it's real deep, guys. It's really deep. Everybody's demonizing this guy for wearing White Lives Matter shirt. But he was trying to draw attention to really the pain and suffering that's going on with all of us right now. And he's stating the obvious. White lives do matter, right? See, he pointed it out. They've stripped away black identity. They've stripped away the identity of being black. What does it mean? In fact, these terms, white, black, didn't even show up until the last, few centuries ago. The earth was one big ball of mixed people, but no one identified as white or black or anything like that. That's a modern era thing. There's a whole other thing we could get into about that, but it's real deep what's going on. I'm picking up on a lot of little cues and things as he's talking. And
that became the head of the English department at Chicago State University, or whether it's the most influential white woman on the planet, being my ex-wife, they have people that are around them at all times telling them what to be afraid of.
Yeah.
So not what to do or say specifically, it's what to be afraid of. And if you have a person that isn't afraid of them, like a Russell Brand or Candace Owens.
Right.
It's not that we have to agree with this, but
they're not afraid.
They're not afraid to state what their opinion is.
Yes.
No one is God.
Boom.
Everyone has an opinion.
So a conversation.
It gets real deep, folks. I don't understand why everybody's upset with the guy. The guy really did a good job igniting the fire and the flame and bringing the attention to what goes on behind the scenes in Hollywood and revealing to everyone what's going on. And when he said White Lives Matter, it really hit the nail on the head that, yeah, it's the most obvious thing to say. Because who's running the whole BLM thing right now? Who's guiding the whole leftist movement? Who's pushing this whole woke culture? White Lives Matter. He's a genius. He created a conversation that's not going to end. It's going to just more fuel on the fire. People are debating, talking, everything lit up. There's another clip with Tucker Carlson where he tells Tucker that the Clintons were calling the house trying to tell Kim to tell Kanye what to talk about in the media, and Kanye wasn't having it. Go ahead and watch the whole thing on the Tucker Carlson show. I tell you guys, it's a great episode. It's an eye-opener, and it was refreshing to hear for me, since I have been sort of going down the same path and dealing with the same things, almost in synchrony. I'm not married to a Kim, but a lot of the same problems are there. A lot of the fear that everybody wants to inject in you. Be afraid of nuclear war. Be afraid of the coronavirus. Be afraid of what somebody might do to you out there on the street. Be afraid, be afraid. I'm sick and tired of people telling me what to be afraid of. I'm sick and tired of being afraid. A long time ago. This is America. This is the United States of America. It seems like we've lost the plot. Big time. We've lost the plot. The Constitution of these United States grants all of us the opportunity and the right to have debate, discourse, argumentation, and to work through the problems that are difficult to work through. I'm not about to sit here and be quiet and be silenced by anyone. Neither is he, and neither are the 80 million people plus around the country who feel how we feel, who speak how we speak. We're not alone, folks. And the more you guys keep trying to push this mentality on us, this fear-mongering based mentality on us, it's the more you're just lighting a fire under us. The more we're not going to shut up. Take it for what you will. I think Kanye West did a good job. It sparked a whole thing all over the internet, and everyone's talking about it. So that's my video on it. Go ahead and watch the full clip. I'll post links in the video down below. Please like, share, and subscribe. And if you have any comments, leave it down below. And I really don't care what you think about me, people. I don't. And I mean that wholeheartedly. Yes, I'm trying to develop a channel. Yes, I'm trying to make content. But it's with the intent and with the purpose of waking people up to understand what's going on in the world today. For us to come together, for us to unite, for us to develop discourse, debate, argumentation, proper critical thinking skills, proper methodologies for working through problems, allowing us to say what we need to say, be our authentic self. Anyway, folks, that's all I got for you today. Please, I hope you like my episode today. Much love and respect, unity, and let's come together as one nation under God with liberty and justice for all. But we got to work at it, folks. It ain't going to come easy. And every generation has to fight for it. We have to stop being complacent. We have to stop just laying down and waiting for somebody to save us or give us what we want, because that's never going to happen. It's never going to come. I love all of you. Thank you for listening. Thank you for being with me. God bless, and be a leader in your community. Thanks for watching, guys. Take care.